What up? What up, everyone? Spencer Israel here. God, what a day. What is down today? Seriously, what is down today besides maybe GameStop, right? Let me share my screen. We can take a look. GameStop's down. Everything else, though, let's go to 15-minute. Everything else, though, is pretty much up. It's just a question of who's leading and who's lagging. Let's look at the SPY there. So we're seeing tech leading again, right? The Q's up 2.5%. Small caps, Russell up 1.8%. SPY up 1.25% there. Everything, all major sectors in the green. Values lagging though. The XLF is down, is unchanged. Down, it keeps going back and forth between up and down. Energy is lagging. It's up for the day, but not by a lot when you compare it up against like tech, for example, right? The XLK, which is up 2.5% today, and XLC, right? Communication services up 2.33%. Good day overall for the markets. Let me bring on our guest here, Alex Cole from GoNoGo Charts. It's time for a fireside chat. Let's do a fireside chat, guys. I've got my mug here. Let me get my screen. I got my mug here. Let's do a little fireside chat. Alex Cole, what up, sir?
Got my mug too.
There we go. All right.
Chat ready to go.
CEO, Chief Market Strategist at GoNoGo Charts. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Like you said, it's been a day. It's been a couple of weeks, I tell you.
Yeah. So we thought, is the tide turning? Tech's getting hit pretty hard here. Yeah. Is this the rotation we've been waiting for? And it appears not so fast, because we just as quickly as we turned back. Have you made the same assessment?
Yeah, I think on it's a bit, you got to be careful calling anything too quickly at the moment. I think, I think if you zoom out and look at some of the longer term charts, you are still seeing some rotation.
Okay,
we can look at that, but like you said, just overall right back in trend. If you look at even the S&P was in a trend channel, had a couple of days where it sort of spooked everybody out, and right back into the trend today.
Yeah. I mean, I've been using the ARKK as my indicator here, like the Cathie Wood flagship, and I mean, on this daily, we that's a nice bounce. That's a nice bounce right there. So
it's a very nice. It's just, it depends. Does it become is it a bounce that's now hitting resistance that used to be support, or is it going to go back? I mean, we're even if we make a high here, we've made it's in effect a lower high after setting a lower low. So it's it needs to play out really, unless you're somebody that's like you said today before you pull me on, everything is up. If you're trading short term, then what a day. But I think we need to see how things play out for all of these bigger themes.
You know what, though? I think everyone remembers a year ago, and like the whole way up. I don't know about you, but the whole way up in March, I was like, "There's no way. We have to go back down. There's no way. This can't be. This can't be." We got the little dip right there in April, but by and large, we never really stopped. And a lot of people, I think, remember that March 23rd low. That was the day that the Fed came out and said they were going to be the backstop, the lender of last resort, and step in and throw all the money at the problem. But I mean, I spent 2 whole months in denial right there, right? So I think a lot of people kind of remember that. That was about a year ago now. Wow. Okay, so Alex, I've asked you on here not to share my charts, to share your charts. That's what we want to see. I'm going to bring him on right now. Okay, so what are you looking at here? What's on your radar?
Well, I've got a few things. I was just sort of bringing things up as you were talking about them in the intro. But why don't we look at ARKK? That's one that you wanted to look at.
Sure.
We've been looking at. This is what we see from a trend following perspective on ARKK. If you drag that back, I mean, it's been an incredible run since breaking out last year. But there are some of the conditions telling us that this is now fallen out of the go trend. and we're getting the no-go conditions. So if we do a little quick support, resistance channels levels here, we're wondering, does this become a higher, like a lower high, or do we continue to get back up into trend? I mean, we're still quite far off from the high on ARKK. And what I'm really looking at on my charts, excuse me, is what happens with the oscillator. We know that when a trend is strong, momentum should be moving from overbought to neutral. It shouldn't be going oversold. That doesn't make too much sense in a healthy uptrend. So having broken below zero here on the oscillator, I'm really watching it right now as it comes right back up against the zero line to see, can it get back into positive territory, or does it get rejected by the zero, in which case we might expect it to roll over again over the next few weeks. But definitely strong price action today, like you said, pretty much across everything. Just to give you the other side of things, if you want, this is the long-term weekly chart of the ratio of value to growth. Just using,
I'm into this.
Just using the SPYV, right, relative to the SPYG, so the value to growth using the S&P ETFs, and you can see that growth has been the outperformer. This is using the value on the top of this ratio. So this value has been underperforming since the beginning of 2020, this entire time, but we've seen this change over the last 3 weeks, where we get the go identified on the relative strength ratio between value and growth, and the oscillator being supported by zero. So this is like a larger theme that we've been seeing played out over the last several weeks. But again, like you said, this current week's bar has moved lower, but that's sort of the larger image.
Okay, so each of these bars, what open, high, low, close bars is a weekly, right?
Yeah, this is a weekly. So this is looking longer term. Yeah.
Okay, so this week's here, if I can look a little bit. So this week's bar, like you said, is down from the previous week, but you would, there we go. So you would still, in order for this trend to break, you would need it to break below that. What is that like a fib number right there, or?
No, this is just a horizontal resistance level from the basing pattern that we saw here, this sort of ascending triangle.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it could, it depends on your time frame, right? Every investor is different. It depends on your time frame. What we often see in technicals is a retest of important levels. So if we see this, if this is going to be a long-term change where we see rotation into value, we may well see strength in growth over the next couple of weeks as it sort of comes down and retests towards this level. So a lot of it, will depend on your time horizon and what you're looking to get out of the markets.
Yeah. And guys, I just want to give Alex a little more of an introduction. We talked to a lot of chartists, a lot of technicians. Alex, like, in a way, kind of like helps write the book, right? You've written curricula for the CMT program, right?
Yeah, I am the current SME for the Wiley prep course for the CMT.
So anybody studying to become a CMT, a chartered market technician, and they're reading what?
They may have seen me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So guys, if you have a question about this sort of thing, really, there's very few people better to ask than Alex, because he literally writes like the prep book for this stuff. So if you have a question about anything about technicals and technical analysis, this is your guy. This is your guy right here. Okay, literally writes the book, the prep book.
That's flattering. Thank you.
Very kind. And also allow me to critique you now for a moment. One guitar in the background is not enough.
I did a slight update of my little area here, and I toned it down a bit. I used to have the full array of guitars behind me, but they're sort of spread out around the house now. So I'll mix this one up. I'll try.
Okay. Well, for the uninitiated, what is that right there?
This is a Gibson SG.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I know it looks pretty.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to, and chat. If you have any tickers you want us to look at, let us know. And we'll just have Alex sort of run through it here. Patty wants to know which stocks are good, or Panda wants to know which stocks are good. Panda, hey man, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific than that. Which stocks are good? All of them or none of them depends on your point of view. Alex, can you bring up a chart of like GameStop here? Because I'm just curious, do you even apply technicals to this craziness, or do you just like throw it out the window? I don't even know how to.
I mean, you definitely can. I mean, it was very, very difficult for anybody to be, catching anything near the top when that happened. I mean, it depends. I mean, if you were looking at if you were trading it actively using, 5-minute, 15-minute charts, then that's different. But on the daily chart, that kind of move is so unprecedented. But we got after the craziness of about a month ago, whenever that was, we got a fresh go signal on GameStop back in here around 46.50ish, and so we've rallied since then. Yesterday, what was it? 5 minutes it lost.
It was like 20 minutes, I think, and it lost half its value,
and then went back up to about 2/3 of what it lost. So again, there's arguments to be made for zooming out, and if you were somebody who's looking at daily charts, then yesterday was a relatively it was a doji kind of with open and close at fairly close to the same level, and then today you're about at the same level as you were when you closed. So not too much going on, but if you were actively trading that yesterday, man, what a ride that would have been.
Maybe we should back up for the new viewers. Can you explain the GoNoGo thing?
Yes, absolutely. So the idea behind this, I also worked for about 13, 14 years for Bloomberg, working with institutional clients, and I did all of the sort of technical analysis education in Bloomberg internally and for clients. And what we found was, I actually have an example of a chart here. What we ended up doing, myself included, was the more you learn about technical analysis, the more you start to appreciate some of the tools, but the more you end up putting on your chart. So what happens is that price becomes fairly difficult to see, and you can't do some of the really valuable things like just looking for important key levels, looking at support and resistance, prior highs, maybe finding channels, pattern analysis. This is a relatively tame chart, but we would be working with clients that would have, their price panel almost shrunk to something like this, where you really can't see anything. You've got multitude of indicators and everything overwhelms the chart. So what I ended up really getting passionate about was using the technicals that I found the most valuable, with myself and also with clients, and then trying to blend that into one chart that would give me a complete overview of the market from a technical perspective, but would still allow me then to see price action, because it is so important. So this is an example of just the S&P, and the reason it's called GoNoGo is I borrowed it from the pass-fail type testing used by NASA and other things. The idea being, is it a go for launch? Is the technical environment a go or a no-go? And so the blue colors, the blue and the aqua are the go colors. The amber is a neutral tone. We like to call that go fish, right? Go, no go, and go fishing, borrowed from the Jesse Livermore quote, where he said there was a time to go long, time to go short, and time to go fishing. And then the purple and pink colors are the bearish colors. So when I had this ratio here, that's why I was saying that the value had underperformed, because it was in these purple and pink no-go colors. Sorry, hopefully that answered it. It wasn't too long-winded.
No, I think that answered it. I'm getting some questions about from chat about where this is applicable. Is it applicable to anything, or is
it's a technical chart?
right.
You can apply RSI on any asset that has price data, any time frame, any periodicity. So I have clients that are using these charts, even down to 1 minute charts. And then obviously we have some money managers using it on a much more long-term system. Yeah.
Right. So to that end, Super SPAC Man asked about warrants. Yeah, I mean, if there's price data, right? If there,
Yeah. Whatever has price history, it'll capture. It's designed to capture trend.
right.
So the overall idea is that. Let me put something that trades so we can see the bottom panel a little differently. So this is the spider, right? So it has volume. The overall goal was to simplify a complete understanding of trend and an understanding of momentum. So it's one price panel, one oscillator. And the reason I changed this to the SPY was just because the other piece in here where a lot of technicians use volume as a confirmatory indicator, when this oscillator goes to the dark blue, that means that volume is heavier than it has been in the recent past. So if you get things like breakouts, you would want to see that accompanied by heavier volume, things like that.
Voodoo does it work on options? I'm not really sure how that would work.
It could. I mean, depends on again the quality of the data and what what you're putting in there.
Okay. Before I go to some more tickers from chat, was there anything else on your radar that you're watching, charts that you thought were serving as indicators for the overall market?
No, I mean, I think that looking at the heavily traded stuff is in terms of view of the market. If you wanted to look at specific tickers, we can certainly do that as well. One of the things that I wanted to point out, just to give people an idea of what the chart is, what else is in the chart. The idea was to try to get an automated view of everything that I wanted from a technical perspective, without clouding the chart. So underneath the price bar, if you might see some icons like these green circles in an uptrend. Those are sort of low risk entries or trend continuation icons, and they just come from the interaction between the price, the trend, and the oscillator showing renewed momentum in the direction of a trend. So somebody asked earlier, what's a good stock? And like you said, that depends. But this is just as an example, one that I was looking at because we've had a rally in price, we've had a correction. You can see the correction sort of highlighted by the paler colors, but then this green circle is showing renewed momentum in the direction of the trend. So these are some of the things that I like to look at. So when we get the green icon underneath price, that's showing renewed momentum in the trend. So this was one that I was talking about with somebody earlier, OGI. And it kind of tries to identify that idea of bull flags or some buying the dip, some sort of could be a pennant, whatever it is. You've had a sharp run, there's a pullback, and then those green circles will try to identify renewed momentum within trend, so trend continuation.
And OGI had some news today. I think it was British American Tobacco, right? Had done some sort of a strategic investment for 20% of the company. You said you look at some of the most traded stocks today. The most traded stock in terms of volume is GE. Can you pull that up? I feel terrible for anyone that is in this stock. I really do. I used to own this. I don't anymore. But this thing, I mean, it takes so long. It grinds steadily. It grinds higher, but it takes months. And you finally catch a break, and you're up to $14. And for GE, that's huge. You've tripled in the last 9-10 months, and now here in the last 2 days, you've given back a decent chunk of those gains. I feel terrible. I really do.
You have given back a lot, but again, as trend followers, which really is what technical analysis is sort of based on. Again, for me, when I'm looking at this, while the go trend is still in place, we haven't seen a bearish no-go color. The oscillator is right here at the zero line. This is very, very interesting. Now, this should find support at the zero line. It shouldn't dip too far into negative territory. If it does, then we may get another green trend continuation icon. But like you said, it's triple. What is it in
since May. Since May, it was $4 in May, right?
Well, we had this real sort of long basing pattern.
Yeah.
We've been talking about G for a long time. G on the weekly. We saw this breakout of this basing here where we got this. Neil likes to find these sort of serious long breakout sort of basing patterns. I've been seeing a lot of these on his charts, but it like you said, it grinds higher. And if you look at it on a weekly, we're still in a solid trend. But Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, and also it depends. You have to zoom out again. Like, look, if you look at it like this, it's like, oh, I've given up almost everything.
Yeah.
If you look at it back to where hopefully the trend was identified, then it's not so bad. It just depends on what how long you felt it.
Nothing epitomizes up like an escalator, down like an elevator more than this, I think, because it just takes so long to grind higher, and then 2 days, and all right. So anyway, at least hey, if you're long GE, at least Alex makes you feel a little bit better about that. But hey, good luck. Have a stop out there or something. I don't know. Let's go to AMC. They had earnings last night. And the CEO, I think I saw that he'll be on Fox Business tonight. They're talking about reopening in California. And the earnings are what they are, pretty irrelevant at this point. But it looks like they've gotten past the worst of it, or so the CEO says.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's a case, it was always to me, the thought, if you don't go out of business, things should get better, right?
Well, in theory,
that's kind of where I was with. I mean, I don't know too many people that are going to the movies. We actually went to the movies on New Year's Eve because around by us you could rent the whole movie theater for like really
nice
not much money, So we went as a family.
Wait, but do you get to like choose your movie, or how's that?
You sign up for we went to see Wonder Woman when it came out, and we went on like the 29th of December, and we had the whole. It was one of those dine-in, we love the dine-in one.
Nice.
So had the whole movie theater just for the family.
Oh man.
But at the time, I was like, "This can't last for long, right? How can this be?"
Yeah, that's not scalable.
No. So I mean, but if they have seen the worst, if they're going to be able to stay around, then I mean, with the vaccinations rolling out the way they are, I mean, I can't imagine that things will get worse. And we saw a lot of support right at the gap on the daily chart. I mean, again, this was this was what it was, right? Whatever happened here, it was whatever it was, but the support that came at the gap was really impressive. And then now we've seen some support at zero on the oscillator, and we've seen some sort of strengthening of the Go trend. Perhaps we get back to those highs around 20. We'll see.
All right. What about Palantir here? I saw they had some sort of headline. They announced a deal, this 6-year strategic partnership this morning with Faurecia, some sort of a French automotive supplier.
I thought the only thing that mattered was what Kathy Wood said about these things. But
hey, well, let's hold that thought there for a moment. Are they up today? Okay, so she's not buying today. She only buys on dips. She is not buying. I'm calling it now. It's my hot take. She is not buying Palantir today. Yeah,
this is a good one. I mean, we saw this rally again back in November from 15 all the way up to, this is a log chart. So from 15 all the way up to, almost over $40. That's a huge gain. And then there's a lot of support around this area. I think she did buy in here, round about right at these support levels.
Probably.
So, again, this is the way these chart works. If we get turned away by the zero line on the oscillator, that shows renewed momentum to the downside. So we have to see what happens here.
And Alex, where are these indicators? They're in TradingView. That's what you're in right now.
This is TradingView. We are going to be on several platforms in the next couple of months, which is really exciting. This is something that's been just private for years with clients, and we've just sort of officially launched end of January. So it's very exciting. We're going to be available on lots of different places. But right now, this is in TradingView, yeah.
All right, let's go away from individual stocks for a second. A couple other more evergreen questions here. What do you think is the most valuable indicator?
Well,
besides GoNoGo,
GoNoGo, but no, that's silly. I think there's a few, and so obviously some of those are in my work. I think that the most valuable are the ones that everybody looks at, right? Because there is that element of self-fulfilling prophecy to technical analysis, and so you can't go wrong looking, including on your chart, things like the moving averages, and if you want to get a sense of momentum, use RSI. That's probably the most used indicator to get a sense of momentum. Even all over the discussion forums and everything this week, talking about the number of securities that are back to their 50-day moving average, or they're testing. There's so many eyeballs on that kind of thing that everybody looks for them to work as support. So I would say the moving averages, if you're looking for momentum, RSI, RSI is a big part of what I try to do with my charts in the lower panel, because there's a lot of research out there. If you want to read books about it, Connie Brown wrote a really good book about using momentum indicators in trend, and the idea that a lot of people use RSI and stochastics and those typical momentum indicators to find overbought and oversold levels, swing levels in range-bound markets. But what we find is that in a trend, they range between certain levels. So you can really use that to help you when you're finding support in trend. So what I try to build that into this one by when the inputs go neutral, it goes to that zero line. So that's where that unobjective level, also that objective level of support and resistance comes.
What is the smallest time frame that you use?
Well, personally, I don't trade fast charts. I work with clients that use 1 minute charts. I have several clients that and so I'm looking. I'm looking at the E-minis and things all the time, because I have clients that are looking at 1 minute charts. And
Sure.
And on the 1 minute, what we look for. So the other thing that I guess if you have time, I could just quickly mention that we look for the first entry signal after a trend has been identified, right? So especially people that are trying to day trade, if you're using a trend following concept, by the time a trend has been identified, there's often then a pullback, right? And then people think, oh, it didn't work, and they get out. So that's that idea of retesting. It's the idea of sort of buying the dip. So what we really like to see is, after a trend has been identified with a go flag, we like to find the first of those trend continuation icons. So you get the sense of momentum coming back into a stock after a trend has been identified, and that cuts out a lot of the whipsaws. So like if you look over here on the right side of the chart, new go trend identified after a correction, but no trend continuation, no follow through. Then you see this choppiness. You get a lot of choppiness on a 1 minute chart. I don't care how good the indicator is, but you're getting, go signals really struggling to find direction, but no green circles, no follow through on those signals. So it cuts out a lot of that whipsaw activity. And so that's what we really, on the short, really fast stuff, that's what I'm looking at to see, is a trend identified, and then did we get follow through from a renewed momentum. But personally, there's there's all sorts of trading, and luckily I get to work with the people that do it all, so that's what's fun for me.
Well, BW says that's just brilliant. So you got a fan there. Let's do a couple more. What about FCEL, fuel cell? I haven't looked at this chart for a little bit, so I don't really know what it's doing.
Yeah, I was looking at it a while back. So yeah, here you go.
Oh, wow.
Here's an example, right? You get the go trend identified, and then you very quickly, in this case, got the first trend continuation. But then I also work with, money managers and people that run money, and they use, not just my stuff, but they use techniques to scale into positions, right? Because anytime you try to protect against downside, anytime you try to avoid risk, you give up performance. So how do you get that performance back? You have to scale into positions until you're over leveraged to sort of get that performance back. So that's I have, this is a great looking chart. You cherry picked one, I guess, for me, but you get the go trend.
It wasn't me. Let's give credit where credit is due. Super SPAC man.
Yeah. So you got the go trend. You've got the first trend continuation icon, and then all the way through here, correction, renewed momentum, rally, correction, renewed green trend continuation, rally, same, over and over again until then it doesn't. And then when you're in a strong trend like this, then you look to the oscillator, like we've been saying on some of those other charts. This correction here was a little bit too strong for a healthy uptrend, and it forced the oscillator for the first time since November to go into negative territory, which means that one of the inputs to this blended indicator must have gone oversold. And oversold in an uptrend doesn't make you feel good. So this would have been an early warning that this move was actually being threatened, and it comes, of course, as momentum indicators should. It's a leading indicator, and then that runs into then the amber bars struggling to find direction, and then into a no-go. And right now, same as a lot of the charts we've looked at, is this recent rally going to go back into the trend, or is it a lower high in a new no-go? So we'll look to the oscillator to see if it gets rejected at 0. But yeah, fuel cell was a nice one. We were looking at that back a few months ago.
All right, a couple more, and then I'll let you bounce. Sean Wilton asked if GoNoGo is available in Benzinga Pro. Not yet. It's not. Yet, Sean Wilton. Is there a script for this in TOS?
There isn't at the moment, but again, like I said, we are talking to quite a lot of platforms.
Okay.
So, hopefully.
What about can the Go signals be set up as alerts? Viv asked that question.
Again, working on it with platforms, not currently in TradingView. But yeah, all in the plan.
Okay. So we'll have to check back in a few months. To answer those questions, everyone. Viv, what is the name? His name is up on the screen. Alex Cole, GoNoGo charts.
And send us an email to keep in the loop. I'm not just saying that. We are working on alerts and a lot of the things you've asked about. So info@gonogocharts.com if you want to get the updates.
Alex, any final thoughts you want to leave us with? Any final chart you want to share with us before we go?
Final chart. Let's see.
I should have made like a cool graphic for the final chart segment. I just thought of that. Well, that'd be cool.
I tell you, we've been talking about. I know that the last couple of days have swung back quite heavy, but we've been talking about rotation away from growth and away from tech into some of the sectors that are well positioned to do well when the economy rebounds. So we've been talking a lot about energy stocks. Even something as Exxon is looking, phenomenal. Exxon, you can see the no-go and then the break above 0 and then the rally into that. I mean, who knows? This is the thing that people hate when you talk to technicians. They say, yeah, but it's already done, it's gone too far. But we buy strength. We were looking at Whiting Petroleum. We like this one. This one actually went out on Monday to our research subscribers because
wait. Whiting, didn't they file for bankruptcy? Or am I confusing them with somebody else?
Well, I'm a technician. I don't read the news. It's true. But the chart says they're still active to me.
They did file last April. They filed.
Oh, there you go.
I knew I remember that.
Oh, so then that's why there's not that much.
Restructured. All right.
That's why. Yeah, if you go back to the weekly chart, there's not a lot of price history.
Hey, that would explain it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right, well done. That's some serious knowledge off the top of your head there. But this was one that we were looking at this week because there was consolidation. Aqua bars riding the 0 line, and then it bounced back into positive territory, giving us this idea of trend continuation. So, oil stocks we were looking at earlier this week, but who knows? All
right. Alex Cole is the CEO and Chief Market Strategist at GoNoGo Charts. You've been seeing his charts on the screen for the past 20 or so minutes. Alex, thank you for the time. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will speak to you again and see how this goes in a little bit. We'll get your thoughts on the market later in the year.
You're very welcome. Thanks a lot, Spencer.
Right. Thanks a lot. All right, that was a fun little fireside chat with Alex. Let's get that banner up off the screen right now, if I can even find it. Okay, so it is 3:20. I'm going to bring on Mitch Hodge here in a second. He'll hang out, and then I'm going to dip, and I'm going to see y'all in 10 minutes for pre-market prep at the close with Joel Elconin. I bet you Joel's in a good mood. I haven't spoken to Joel since the morning, but I bet you he's in a good mood today. This is like A day like today is like exactly what Joel likes to see, right? Just like steady, like nothing really too crazy, just like steady market moving higher. He likes this stuff. So, with that said, Mitch, let's bring you on here. And as we do that, am I allowed to tell people about our new show, or is that still a secret?
All right, but you better do a good job.
No. Really, what I wanted to do was like I wanted to like ask you about it, but I didn't know.
No, it's public. It's public.
I didn't know if I was allowed to do that.
Let them know.
Well, okay, so we are debuting a new show. Wait, when is the show even debut? Is it next week? We're going to debut the show.
We're starting it tonight, man.
Or tonight? No, for real, it's tonight.
Yeah, bro, it's already public, bro.
Crap! All right,
6 p.m.
Okay, 6 p.m. If anybody in chat, any of our viewers watch the show Around the Horn on ESPN, it's been on the air for like 20 years. We thought let's just take some inspiration from those guys and do an Around the Horn style show, but not about sports, about stonks. And Mitch came up with Around the Bell, right? That's happening tonight.
You know, I think let's just play the intro. I mean, we're gonna play it tonight, but
geez.
At least it'll get people, I think, a little excited about it. Why not?
My gosh. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna get live today. We're gonna get live, guys.
Okay, wait, what time is it? Am I in the show? Do I?
Yep.
All right,
You're in, man.
I am.
So
what time does it even start?
You're ready. You know,
I don't even know.
Hey, we're gonna be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, guys. This is when Benzinga goes full entertainment, no holding back. Just to let you guys know, parental discretion is advised. So if you got little kids around, this probably might not be the show to have on. But
it's not even for informational purposes only. It's just for entertainment. It's like we're gonna be like, throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Get ready. We're gonna talk everything, guys. I mean, I got GameStop in there.
I don't even know what's on the
Kathy Wood.
If I'm gonna be on the
show,
I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare
top
arguments.
Topics. Like I told everybody on the crew, I know where you do your best thinking, Spencer. Just jump on the thinking toilet right there and pull out the phone. That's where you get the gold from, right?
That is where Andrew Left called me a couple months ago. But okay, so that'll be at 6 p.m. Around the Bell, and we're gonna have a host do arbitrary scoring and
everything. So the name of the show, guys, is Around the Bell.
Oh, man.
Very similar to another show that we could say Around the Horn, but Disney will come at us sooner or later because we're gonna get so popular. But hey, guys,
it's similar to another show where they also have panelists. It's around like a sharp thing, you know what I mean? But we're calling ours Around the Bell because we don't care about sport. Well, we do care about sports, but we care about stonks more. So, okay,
super excited. Let's get into some stocks.
I'm excited, Mitch. I'm gonna
get out of here.
All right, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna see you all in 5 minutes.
See you later, man. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the stocks moving on the day, on the session. If you guys have one in the chat that you guys want me to take a look at before I get on out of here, definitely go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll take a look. So, I'm excited to get into some entertainment side, but let's get back to business here. Let's go ahead and let's get into some stocks here. Let's see what's moving, what's not. One that I did mention, guys, that I've been looking at, and you guys can take a look at SOL here. And then let me put the banner up, so make sure that you guys don't kill me. So SOL here. And the biggest thing about SOL, and hold on, let me write that right, because someone's going to tell me, oh, you didn't capitalize it. All right, so SOL it's kind of the solar play here. To me, first of all, the ticker just stands out. But this chart, when I saw it bottoming here in the $10, I kind of liked it. I really liked it over here when it got towards 12. And today it did a big pullback. It had a big day yesterday, but today, nice pullback. Let's look at it on a daily chart, 15-minute chart, and see what we see here, guys. So really quickly, right out the top, you kind of got a little washout right near the open, and right here on that 930 candle, you got it this harmy looking candle, and it quickly went right back up, guys. So I'm going to be paying attention to this one. If it can get over 17, maybe pull back somewhere near 16, 1550s and look to see if I can get an entry. But there's a couple of solar plays out there. I'm sure there are a couple of people watching some of these, and let me know if you guys have one to take a look. Just because it's in the same sector, I got you, Steve King. Let's take a look. Sun W. I like it. I can't blame you for that one. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Up 15%. I was mentioning these with Dennis Dick. I said, hey, you can't keep your eyes off on these solar ones. They pulled back a significant amount. And if you look at the weekly, like this one had 3-4 weeks straight down towards a prior support. So I would have used kind of the Alt H for our Benzinga Pro users. Use that high wick. You can draw it, and it actually came right to that wick, a low of 850 on this stock. So that's kind of what I use, guys. Use those prior levels to at least determine your risk and reward there. So now I think we're going to run into some resistance once we get somewhere up here in the 20s. But hey, this one looks interesting. Maybe see if you get a pullback closer towards 12 or 14. That's how I would approach this stock, because it's just a little bit too high for me to get some of the volatility in the week. But you never know. It's a good looking chart right now. All right, so I'm looking in the chart. Easy tan, can't blame you. I definitely take a look at that one. What else? What else we got here, guys? Looking like we get RMGB. I'll kind of keep out of that one, and I'll keep it for specs. Nova. That's not a bad one. Let's take a look at Nova here. All right, so Nova is up. Look, wouldn't you know it? 16%. A lot of these are very similar, guys, up about very similar price. And what this shows you guys is that, hey, if you guys are seeing the sector make that similar move, look for the laggard play, look for the one that's lagging behind it, and maybe you catch that sympathy move. All right, going to keep going here. Any other tickers being mentioned? Of course, GSAH. Not really much to tell you there, but I mean, I'll take a look for you. You guys believe I actually owned this one at one point, and I sold it at like 1020s, but this was way back when. This is not right now, but hey, it happens. Sometimes you're going to get rid of a one that you see rocket off. Personally, I think, you got to wait till you get like a confirmation here, but you got a one drive, a pullback, another drive, a pullback. Watch how it reacts here at 1150s tomorrow. That's kind of the level in the sand for me right now. If it can hold the 1150s, I like the chart, but if it knocks through that 1150 and closes underneath that, I would be a little careful. But GSAH, not a bad looking chart. Sundial, the dial of the suns. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Sundial up about 7%. And, penny stock play, I can't blame you. I'm in a penny stock right now, so really can't say anything about that. But the Octopus is looking at Sundial. Let's go ahead and see what happens, guys. Honestly, there's not much to say about this chart. I mean, it bounced off $1, going to $1.50 resistance. See how that $1.50 reacts. See if there's some buyers that step up with size near that level. And the problem with Sundial is that there's so many shares, right? So the float is so big, you need a lot of volume to move this stock. So just to give you some insight, let's say on the 8th of February, it traded 8 billion shares. You need a lot of shares to trade here, guys. So only trading 1 billion shares right now. I would like to see that number rise up to at least 5 billion to see that the buyers are really stepping up. All right, let's keep going here. I'm seeing Asana mentioned by Jason Douglas. This one is doing the classic. One thing we mentioned about the IPO is the undercut and rally, guys. So this one undercuts down, breaks down, looks like it's going to keep coming down, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a nice rally. We've seen a lot of stocks kind of do this, so keep your eyes on it. One thing I did mention is always levels, right? So let's draw a little horizontal, see where I see some resistance. So if you draw this resistance out, you see how we keep coming back near this $29.96, so $30 level. I think that's an important price point. If it can hold 30, it's looking good here, Asana. All right, let's keep going through here. I'm seeing SOS mentioned a couple times here, Ropar and Todd. Definitely, hey, guys, if you guys enjoy me going through this, do us a favor, smash the like button, support our channel, hit the subscribe bell down below. Let's keep running through some stocks here. SOS. See what else I got for you guys. As you guys can see, the energy drinks are good today, and I think just wait for the show. It's going to get real. Let's get into a daily chart here. So just give me 1 second so I can get into a daily chart here. So on SOS, one thing I'm noticing is this $6 stands out to me right off the top. So that's $6, and then below it, the next level of support for me would be down almost to this level. So you got to be a little bit careful on that end. But to me, at least you have something to go off of, and you kind of see a little upslope here. So Alt-T for you Benzinga Pro users will go ahead and get you that trend line drawing, and you can draw kind of a trend line here, and then I draw a trend line somewhere in this level. But really, to tell you the truth, what it is if you got in, let's say near that 6 level, I would really watch for that 6 level to hold, because if it breaks that, it can come down towards this 424. At least on a day trade, that's how I would hold on to it. I would be like holding near that $6 price point, looking to see if we can get to that 7. But this one needs a little support there, needs some volume. You know, one thing I noticed is that it did pop on this level right here, 328 million shares traded. But right now, you're only trading 50 million shares. If it's going to get through that 7, rocket through that 9, I think you need to see some shares popping. I think you need to see at least something like, let's say, back here, 100 million, 137 million shares traded, something like that, not 50 million. I think it needs higher relative volume or a catalyst to break it through here. All right, guys, I'm seeing a couple of stocks being mentioned. This one's interesting. Dave mentioning NIO here, guys. So with NIO, I could literally pull up multiple stocks that look almost identical, guys. Almost identical. So I'm going to show you NIO, and NIO pulling back here, I think was a really good move for it, because when it pulled back, if we look at the other EV names, so this is the NIO chart, and let's go to the other China EV names. So you can also look at XPEV, and look at this XPEV chart. Look at this XPEV chart. Look at this rebound. Very similar rebound that you're seeing from that NIO chart. And let's go ahead. Let's go to the last Chinese one here, LI Auto, and look at this one. It looks like we got a price upgrade, but I didn't even worry about that. I'm just seeing the bounce off the support. And when you get that bounce off support, they're all looking very similar. I think when the NIO pulling back, that was a good sign for these, especially they were hanging on the support. NIO came back the fastest, but it was actually holding near the resistance before the earnings came out. So if you look how fast we headed down. We went from about 63 all the way down to about 36 really quickly. All right, guys. So I'm going to be switching over here. I think at the close it's already started. I'm pretty sure it started. So I'm going to switch on over here, guys, and we'll get to at the close, and you guys will see Joel Conan and Spencer Israel. So stay here, guys. It should give you a redirect thumbnail. Go ahead and click that thumbnail and switch on over. I hope you guys enjoyed me going through some charts. Always let us know if you guys want some more technical analysis, but you know, we already have a great show in the morning for that. Get technical with Neil, and you guys, I'll see you a little bit later. Like always, definitely smash that like button. Easy always in here, helping us out. Wish you guys the best. Like always, guys, smash the like button. We'll see you next time, and switch over at the close.